What Makes an Effective School by Pete Sheck. I visited Coyote Ridge Elementary School in Fort Collins, Colorado. And in the interest of being honest, this is the elementary school that my kids attend. Weston is a fourth grader and Levi is a kindergartner. And this is Diane Spearneck, their principal, who was kind enough to let me come in and observe and was able to sit down with me for about an hour and just deliver a lot of information and discuss with me a lot of the things that she believes makes Coyote Ridge a highly effective school. This is the evidence that I would use to demonstrate that Coyote Ridge is an effective school, and that's their CSAP scores. As you can see here, in 2010, their scores were extremely high in comparison to the district and state averages. But perhaps even more impressive is the fact that in 2009, they were still pretty high in most areas, above district and state averages, but they still managed to make that growth, a lot of growth up to the 2010 level. So um, to me, that shows that they're extremely effective. And now we can kind of explore the components that make them an effective school. This is their mission statement, which is we provide our students with a challenging, inquiry-based education to pursue academic excellence, embrace differences, encourage lifelong learning, and become responsible world citizens. And this ties in with their international baccalaureate curriculum, which we'll talk about more in a moment. In terms of goals and feedback, Ms. Spearneck shared with me that their teacher goals align with what the school goals are, and then school goals align with district goals, and district goals align with state goals. So they kind of look at, they follow the alignment in terms of creating goals. And then feedback is given through informal observations by Ms. Spearneck, and then obviously formal evaluations. But they also get a lot of feedback through their instructional coach and their IB coordinator as well. Safety and orderly environment. They have a PBIS program, which is called CRPAC, which discusses a lot of the behaviors that they want to see out of students. And in terms of positive behavior support, the kids are constantly receiving what they call purple paws when they do something that earns them a purple paw. And I know my kids are very excited when they bring one of those home. They also have focused on bullying, and they have a bullying program to help try to combat some of that problem. They also, in terms of safe and orderly environment, each classroom has what you call an essential agreement. And here's two examples. The one on the left is out of a first grade classroom, and the one on the right is out of a fourth grade classroom. Now, it does have some academic components to it, but a lot of it has to do with how to behave in class properly and how to treat each other and be respectful in an educational setting. Collegiality and professionalism. When I got a chance to talk to a couple of fifth grade teachers that were on off period, they shared these things with me. Teachers right now they're working on improving their writing, so teachers are observing how other teachers in the building teach writing, so they can pick up things that way. Each team also meets with an instructional coach and an IB coordinator once a week. And then this below, they post their thematic units all over the place. They're in the gym, they're in the computer lab, they're in the front office, so that they know, everybody knows what unit people are on, and that allows the specialists to be able to know what they're doing and be able to tie those into what they're doing in their classrooms. Also, climate of high expectations. This, one thing that jumps out in most of the classrooms is that the objectives for the day are posted, so the students know what is expected of them that day and what they are trying to get out of the lessons that are being taught. They also use a couple other things. The essential agreements oftentimes also address some of those academic expectations as well. And then on the right here is a writing rubric from kindergarten, which they have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, and the 4 is obviously a high expectation, and the students are able to look at that and see what is expected of them. In terms of parent and community involvement, Ms. Spernick, again, when I was talking to her, shared with me that their volunteer coordinator has a goal of accumulating 5,000 hours of parent involvement or parent volunteers in the classroom this year. And at this time, they're on pace to be able to meet that goal. They also have in the older grades, they have student agendas that have to be signed daily by parents, so that the kids are getting their homework done and getting it turned in. At the lower grades, with my kindergarten, he brings home a homework packet on at the beginning of the week, and each night there's a small assignment for him to do, and we have to sign off on it. At the end of the week, he returns it. Also, there's a school website to communicate a lot of things. They also use um, newsletters to communicate a lot of information home to parents in Thursday folders. In terms of guaranteed and viable curriculum, they use the International Baccalaureate curriculum, which is it's designed around 6 transdisciplinary themes, and then with those themes in mind, that the teachers can design units of inquiry to meet the subject areas that are trying to be taught and the concepts that are trying to be taught. On this page, you see the behaviors of IB learners, and then on this page, you see the attitudes of IB learners. And all of these signs are posted in every single classroom, and so it creates a lot of consistency throughout, from kindergarten up to 5th grade. And this, because they do create units of inquiry, they do a lot of questioning and kind of take a Socratic approach in terms of learning. And so they start with, what I think I know about things, and then wonderings that they might have. And then as they progress through the units, they try to confirm the things that they thought they know, and things that they can't confirm or turn out to be wrong, they put under misconceptions, and anything new they find out, they put under new information. And then again, these are the 6 transdisciplinary themes. Here, this shows the best right here. These are the six themes, and then over here it'll tell the concepts that each grade level is working on in class, so that the specials teachers can be aware and help build towards those themes. And then these are the key concepts that they use to connect that type of information. And the apples here show that they're working on causation and change at the present time in this classroom. In terms of professional development, they use their professional development Wednesdays very well at Coyote Ridge. Anyways, that's the impression that the 5th grade teachers gave me. And they have every year they select some teachers to attend the IB symposium, and then they return and share information with the staff. They've done a book study on the book Making It Happen. They do professional development with IB teachers from other schools that come in and present to them, and then they had their entire staff take a trip down to Colorado Springs, where the Academy International is, which is a very strong IB school. And then another thing that kind of helps with the professional development is teachers have common planning time 4 days a week, so they can get together and work on things and plan things out together. In terms of resources and technology, up here you see a teacher using a Promethean board, and there's a Promethean board in every single classroom. And there's classrooms that also have, each student has a remote that will respond to the Promethean board, so that they can answer questions with the remotes, or they can weigh in on surveys with the remotes. And I think they have a set of those that they share between the classrooms. They also have, each classroom has 2 student computers. They do have a computer lab. I wasn't able to take any pictures that day because there was always a class in it, but it has 28 computers in it. The upper grades are in the computer lab for an hour once a week, and then there is a couple days where there are computer teachers out of the building, so teachers can sign up to use a computer lab to use with classroom instruction and projects. Also, in terms of resources, you can see that they're already, the school's only 5 years old and they're adding on to it already. They're going to add on 4 classrooms. That way they can kind of, keep the class sizes down and doesn't get overcrowded. Um, and and then in terms of frequent progress monitoring, like a lot of schools, they use Dibbles, they use DRA, Acuity, and Ames Web. And then in terms of students, progress monitoring themselves, they do a lot of use of rubrics, like I mentioned earlier. And this is a writing rubric for kindergartners. So they can, come up when they finish their writing, they can go up to the rubric and look at it and see how it compares to the others. Um, and if it looks like a two and they can see the difference, well, what's the difference between a three and a two? They can go back and improve their writing at that point in time. But they also have them. My fourth grader's brought it home with a lot of major projects that he's had to do in class, so he can use that rubric to check if he's doing things the way he's supposed to. In terms of differentiated instruction, they have a team that's made up of the principal, the IB coordinator, the RTI coordinator, instructional coach, classroom teachers, resource teachers, and interventionists. And they get together and they've come up with a system that allows them to identify students that are performing below grade level. And it seems real similar to me to the harness data where you color code kids that are performing below grade level. And then they get together and decide on what interventions will work. And then they do a thing where each grade has an hour once a week where the interventionists come into the classroom so that the kids don't have to be removed. And they call it flooding, where all the interventionists will be in that classroom at the same time. And again, these are the components that I think really demonstrate Coyote Ridge as a highly effective school. Maybe the most important one is Diane Spearneck. I think her leadership and commitment to making Coyote Ridge an effective school is probably the main and the first step in towards driving them to be an effective school.